We're going to go ahead and continue our media availability as we're now joined by Kyle Busch, driver of the number 8 Lenovo Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get to you as soon as we can. We'll start in the back with Bob and then go to Marty.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. What do you get out of running like other racing series? You know, obviously Alex gets hurt. We wonder, you know, what do you get out of running other events that you can't get like in a simulator or doing other things?
Yeah, I mean, I think the differences between real life situation and simulator is entirely different. You know, the G-forces, the acceleration, the adrenaline of it, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, for me, I've raced super late models before and micros now, probably more recently with the dirt game with Brexton doing what he does. So it's just, you know, it's the enjoyable nature of being a race car driver and going out and running in various series and race cars and such. So I just enjoy it overall. You know, does running a micro give you anything for the Cup car? No, not really. But it just gives you a sense of competition and getting out there and stacking yourself up against, you know, other top talent.
And how much concern do you have, if any, over what the 5 car looked like after that wreck last year with the, you know, with the passenger side caved in and the door bars moving as much?
Yeah, you know, I'm no scientist, but you see the concern from the severity of the damage on the right side of the 5, and you can only but wonder what if it was the left side, right? So that's a huge issue, but the bigger matter is what created the damage, you know, and that's the other car didn't sustain much damage. So looking at the 41 and seeing some of the stuff on that car, you know, it was a brick getting rammed into a stick of butter, you know, just it's going to smash it if it's built too stiff.
All right, we'll go to Marty and then to David, then to Zach.
Marty Sakala, Rock Sports Net Race Pro Weekly. KB, looking on the sponsorship side of things, a big win for McLaren on Sunday at Talladega, not just with them on the car, but also their website crashed too with so many people wanting to check it out. Just a big deal. What do you think of that from your perspective?
That's the KFB factor.
Love the humor as always.
Right. No, I mean, that's what we're all hopeful for, right? We want to drive attention to the sponsors and having the sponsors get that notoriety and getting people to check out their products and buy their products and stuff like that. So, you know, I can't tell you the last time, if ever, I ever grilled on a charcoal grill, but I did on Saturday night at Talladega with my McLaren custom grill with the number 8 on it and my signature on the lid and all that stuff. So, you know, we had some great steak and some hamburgers and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun to do that and to have them be a part of our weekend, our winning weekend in Talladega. You know, it's 15 years since the last time I was lucky. So, you know, you got to have those every once in a while. So it was unfortunate we didn't get the luck that we needed in Daytona, but it was nice to have it last week.
We'll go to David, then to Zach, and then to Claire.
David Hoffman, Speed Sport. Kyle, just how would you describe the energy around the facility here recently, just with how you guys have been able just to hit the ground running right away?
Where at?
Just at the facility, at the shop, everything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think morale's high. You know, I think everybody from the Xfinity shop and the Cup shop has done a tremendous job. You know, early in the season, I think Richard was in victory lane 4 weeks in a row or something, it seemed, you know, 5 weeks maybe. But, you know, it was nice to finally get a Cup Series Speedway win for me and to have that be a part of RCR with their legacy and everything of their history at Talladega was really cool. So, you know, I know all the guys are pumped up. Everybody at the shop's excited. That's 2 wins for us on the year so far, and we're hoping for more, obviously.
We'll go to Zach and then to Claire.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Kyle, you talked about how high the morale is at RCR right now. I'm curious, what your relationship with Austin, how that has evolved over these first 10 weeks of the season. Obviously, you've gotten off to a great start. He's gotten off to a little bit of a slower start, at least results-wise, right? So what kind of conversations have you guys had, if any, and what's the dynamic between the two of you as teammates?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously been in our team meetings every week, and we continue to talk about our stuff and how can we get better and what things can we look for and try to do. And I think a lot of that's going to come into play this weekend and next weekend. So I'm very optimistic and hopeful that we'll have some really strong runs at Dover and Kansas. I thought Austin did a fantastic job with what we had at Martinsville. Running 12th there, that was good. I think he was actually better than me at the Bristol Dirt Race. Had a better long run car than I did. I could go on the short run, but not the long run. So he got the finish he deserved out of that. I didn't do a good enough job to get the finish that we needed out of that one. So obviously we all have our ups and downs. I would say that we've struggled at times this year for sure. Martinsville being probably the worst, but that doesn't mean that we don't go to work and try to figure that out and make it better for both of us.
We'll go to Claire and then to Stephen.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. You say you're not a scientist, but you're a really smart guy. You're a dad who has a kid racing, and you're bringing him up. You're a team owner. You understand Rick Hendrick and his thoughts, probably with a couple of his drivers now out after injuries, etc. When you see the flip of Alex Bowman, what do you think of, and how do you look at the cars you get in or the cars your son gets in on the safety side of it? I mean, it'd be a full-time job probably to prepare everything right, but how stickler of a guy are you in that area, and how do you look at it?
Yeah, safety first, right? That's been my biggest thing. Is I always make sure that my seats are right, they're mounted right, they're in the position that I want them in. The seats that we buy for Brexton are safe and secure and really good seats. And we'll go, depending on his vehicle that we're in, we'll go to lengths of lightening the seat and doing some stuff to the point in which we feel comfortable. But like his junior sprint stuff, we don't touch that. We leave it alone, and as is from manufacturer. So, yeah, I mean, safety is all of our concern. It's all of our priority. There's been so many advancements over the years, but there's never you're never going to trump natural occurrences, right? It's just going to happen. So I haven't seen the Bowman crash, but grateful that he'll be okay, and that I remember Chase at the Chili Bowl last year or the year before. He had a violent flip as well, and so he was okay after that. It's just the nature of running those cars. A lot of times I stick to the micro game. They're a little bit slower at a little bit shorter tracks, so you hope that you end up okay, but there's injuries in that as well too.
Stephen.
Steven Stump, frontrip.com. Kyle, back to your Talladega win. It had been 15 years since your last win there. Often it comes down to the luck of the draw at the end. Kind of knowing how long it's been, was there kind of like an extra sense of relief, an extra sense of excitement when you guys were able to finally get it done there?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you get a win, obviously that's exciting. That's obviously what we all strive to do each and every week. I've been good a lot and have won a lot of races not at restrictor plate tracks, and haven't had a whole lot of restrictor plate wins and been lucky enough to get those wins. So, there are guys that are better at that style of racing than maybe me, but I still think it comes down to circumstances at the end and where you are and how it all works and what all happens. And, it's just the nature of that beast of restrictor plate racing. So, yeah, thankful to win, but isn't really a defining factor for our season.
All right. Thank you.
God.
Zach Tanzvetti, kickingthetires.net. A pretty fun post this week with you and Samantha. Looked like you were doing some kind of segment together. Can you give some context as to what you guys were up to?
Yeah, you must be talking about Celebrity Game Face. We were on that show with Kevin Hart and his wife, and then a couple other of his buddies. So we were all kind of just playing games and stuff like that. So, yeah, and it was just kind of unique, kind of fun. Thanks to the network for allowing us on there and being a part of that. It was really cool to have some FaceTime with him, and yeah, just check out our social. It was on E, so got to go watch.
And we'll take one final question from Dustin.
Dustin Albino, JC.com. Kyle, on the truck side, Chase Purdy has as many top 10s this year as he did in the last 2 years combined with his other teams. How have you seen him kind of develop over the first third of the year?
Yeah, I've been excited about that. You know, with Chase and Jack and Sanchez, they all had a legit shot to win Atlanta. I mean, they were all running up front, top 3, top 4. It was really, really cool. I was hoping that we were going to get in victory lane. Unfortunately, circumstances just didn't work out there at the end on that last lap. But you know, Purdy's done a good job. He went to Vegas and was smooth and consistent, ran in the top 10. You know, Texas was a little bit more of a struggle where he ran 10th to 12th but finished 10th, where Sanchez was dominating that race, leading that race. So there's definitely still some things that we can work on, obviously, to help those guys be better and get better. You know, top 10s are great, but being up front, contending for race wins is what it's all about, and where he wants to be. I know he wants to be, and he's been working hard at that. Him and Jimmy Villeneuve, they've really built a good working relationship thus far. It's exciting to see that, as well as all the drivers and crew chiefs at our place. It's going real well.
All right, Kyle. Thank you. Good luck this weekend.